Hello and welcome to level 62 of the Thoughts and Players podcast, the gaming podcast with bold takes and no strings attached. I am Jeremy, here with my two compadres. Of course, I have David.
What up?
And I have Corey.
Howdy, players.
Howdy. How's everyone doing this fine evening?
Doing fantastic,
right.
Jeremy. I cannot. Oh, jeez, man.
Well,
Every
David,
week with this guy doing all right. I mean,
I-
what do you need? What do you need? What can we help you with, David?
You fixed my knee.
So in the editing of the previous video, which I completely did not really hear during the actual recording of the podcast, you said you were a little under the weather last time.
Mhm.
Are you at least above or at weather now?
Yes.
Okay.
I am better in that
So-
category.
So your knee. So a couple
Yeah.
of weeks ago, we talked about you getting gray hair, and now
Yeah.
you have a bad knee.
Yeah.
David, you are aging
It's just
like milk.
rapidly going. Just going.
Like milk, my man.
I hit the
This is-
expiration date and it's just downhill.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right,
You know.
but I'll live. I hope.
What up? Medical bills in the future. Hey.
Collections will take care of them.
What up? Is knee later with an ice cream.
Hey. There we go.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, chickens, ducks, and hens, we welcome you in to this level of the pod. There's been a lot going on with gaming, but first we're going to talk about the games we're playing. So, guys, fellas, what you playing?
I'll start off today if that's okay with you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Take it
All
away.
right, so I have three games for you. First up, I want to talk about I beat Resident Evil 4 Remake. It took me a
Nice.
while. I've been talking about it for like 6 episodes now, it feels like. But fantastic game. I really don't have many complaints about it at all that I can think of at the moment. It was a beautifully done remake. They definitely took out some stuff, but as I played through it, there was nothing that I really missed. Just overall an improvement on the original. And I think, when people look back at RE4 10, 15, 20 years from now, this is the one that they should look back as, even though at the time that was the pinnacle, this is the one that's like, it's the remake. It's the better version of that game. And it deserves to sit on top of like all-time lists. I'm not saying it's one of my all-time favorites, but it was a really fantastic game. David, you definitely got to play through it, man. I think you'll really love it.
I did complete chapter 3.
Oh, okay. So you'll be talking about it in a second.
I am getting
Uh-huh.
I have one major complaint. I don't know if I want to say it because David, it changes something. Okay, it changes something very small about the ending. Very, very small. I look forward to it so much. What do you think? Go ahead.
Is it the part with Ada?
No.
Okay.
Actually, I have a question about that as well, but let me go. The part that it changes is Leon and Ashley. Leon saves the day. Spoilers here. And Ashley in the original.
No way.
Yeah, exactly. Ashley in the original is like, yo, Leon, Jeremy, this is where you play some like sexy time music, right? Like play it over. Hey, Leon, do you want to work some overtime? And Leon's like, sorry, Ashley, I can't do that. I thought you would say that. They got rid of that. They got rid of sexy time. Like it's to me, it was like iconic. I was like, oh, Leon, and it was some lame. Leon, you can work for me now. You can handle yourself. Blah blah blah.
From what I've gathered from a lot of comments and stuff, Ashley's less annoying and immature in this game.
She is, yeah.
So that might be why they took it
still,
out.
She still has needs. Just saying. We all do.
Right there, Corey.
Perhaps she doesn't because she's a video game character. Right?
Her needs is to be.
I guess so.
But you know what? I can't even say that anymore because BioWare ruined that. Because basically in every BioWare game ever made, you got to bang somebody. So,
and speaking still of RE4, David, I do have a question because you are the RE guy. I will hand that back to you now. Ada and Krauser,
Yeah.
their backstories aren't explored. Because I played RE2. And I played RE4, and Ada kind of shows up a couple times, and it seems like they have a relationship of some sort. Not a physical relationship, just like they know each other.
Right.
And like Krauser, is this obviously just like, I don't know. There's no backstory to them other than what they are in the games, right? Like there is, but it's not shown in the games, in any games.
So I know there's supposed to be, I forget what it's called, but there's going to be a DLC for this game because it was in the original RE4, like Another Way Out or whatever. So you play as Ada.
Okay.
So that shows more of her. I only played it once and beat it, so I don't remember what happened exactly. And if I remember correctly, Krauser was in Resident Evil Dark Chronicles or the other one.
Movie or show?
No, there's 2 Wii Resident Evil games that they're only on the Wii. And they're like side stories. And I'm pretty sure Krauser's in one of those.
Okay, cool. I was just interested, because he seems like he's such an important character to Leon in RE4,
It shows. Like, I think they're both in South America or something on a mission.
Yeah, he was like his army guy.
Yeah,
general.
But yeah, it's in one of the Wii ones.
I support the military. Next game up. We had just talked about backlog. Jeremy, you brought that up, right?
Right.
So I finished RE4. I'm going on my PlayStation, just looking at what games I already have downloaded, and I had mentioned the game on that episode, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And I made a joke like, I promised Eric I would beat it. It's been years. And I'm like, today I was like, I promised Eric I'd beat that. So I went back to it today. I went back to it today to play it. And everything that we said about going back to games stands. Like, I was so confused. I had no clue part of what story we were in. The combat was horrific for me that first 15, 20 minutes. I had no clue how to do anything, but I jumped into it pretty well. I ended up beating a couple chapters. I'm 3 chapters away from finishing the game. So I think I will have a Guardians of the Galaxy update eventually about me beating it, which I'm pretty excited about.
There you go.
And that's a fun game. Like, Jeremy, you bought it, right? Like, you had it?
I bought it. My girlfriend played and beat it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a really good game. They focused only on single player, only on controlling Star-Lord. They didn't try to like shoehorn 5 different play styles. They made sure Star-Lord played really well. And the game really does a good job of taking care of those characters in terms of their mechanics. I think they made mechanics based around those characters, not so much like, hey, we're going to make mechanics and fit these guys in it. So hopefully I'll beat that soon. And finally, I wanted to see, I played Team Fight Tactics.
Okay,
TFT.
how'd you like it?
I did like it. I thought it was really cool. I've only played 1 match. I did the tutorial and I played 1 match. Started off very strong, and then I got my butt kicked.
That's how I'm still like that.
I ended up being like the 3rd or 4th person eliminated, which I thought was decent from my first try. Go ahead.
In that game, 1st through 4th is winner.
Oh, okay. I was right outside of it for sure, but I liked it. I really enjoy that. If you remember talking to me, if I was talking about Final Fantasy Remake DLC, they had a side mode where you just put characters out and they go along their business and fight. Reminds me a lot of that. This is a lot deeper than that Final Fantasy VII Remake side mode, but like, I do like it. So I'm going to keep playing it. It's a great game for the phone just to pop up and play a match or so. So good recommendation, David. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm surprised I had the recommendation for a change.
Yeah, there we go.
What I've been playing, let's go back to my final thought from last episode, is a lot of Vampire Survivor. I looked at it gave me my weekly like yesterday or the day before. I had 20 hours in it. And that I've only had it for a week and a half.
So that's incredible.
That shows some things. But I mean, it's very fun. It's very time consuming, if you don't have anything to do, just laying in bed or going to the bathroom, you can play it really quick. I'm just trying to get all the challenges complete, so get to level 50 with this guy and with this guy, and there's some of them I'm confused on, like, hey, find this I forget what it's called, metal arm thing. I'm like, I have the map that shows me where all the secret things are on the maps, but I don't see that on any of the maps. But it's fun. So I still see me having quite of tens and tens of hours in this. Nice. And then, of course, Apex. The new season comes out next Tuesday. And they changed a lot on one of the maps. They added another, what are they called? Like, life items. Because there's, like, heat shields. so that way you can survive outside of the ring if you're taking a long time. And then they have like mobile respawn beacons, but now they have mobile hot air balloons, whatever. So now you can just throw down the air balloon and you can zip up it and fly away. So I don't know if you guys have seen that and, you know, played it all. So that's really cool. And then they added another character, so that's another one. And it should be a lot of fun, so I'm really excited. And the whole ranking system is completely different. So it's definitely going to be rejuvenated quite a bit. That's about it.
Cool, man.
For one, that's the Vampire Survivors. I mean, it was just addicting, especially when you first jump into it, and you know, you first match or two, you just get blown to pieces.
Yeah.
And then as you're like unlocking things and kind of understanding generally how it goes, and then it just you hit that curve, and you're like, all right, cool, and then you can just lose dozens of hours in it and just not even think about it. Yes, for sure. With Apex, you may be surprised, but I dug my PS4 out of storage, not PS4, PS5. I dug that out of storage, and I almost downloaded Apex.
Almost that. Wow.
I almost did.
Why is your PS5 in storage, man?
I was moving it and had it stored in my office, and then just, you know, haven't had it around much.
To be fair, you're not missing much.
But however, as I said, I did dig out of storage and I hooked it up. So I've been playing a lot of PlayStation 5. I also, you know what else I found in storage? I found my Nintendo Switch and my Nintendo 2DS XL.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Back to Pokemon?
And what happened was, just like the PlayStation 5, I dug it out of storage, I cleaned it up, got it all nice and ready, right? The only difference with my Switch and my 2DS XL is, after I got them cleaned up, I put them in their cases and put them back in storage because no one's playing those console systems here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So anyway, what I've been mostly playing on my PlayStation 5 because I bought it before I put it in storage. Kena Bridge of Spirits. I don't know if you guys remember that game.
Yeah. Pixar graphics.
Yeah. It is a beautiful, beautiful game. Beautiful game. Great story. I'm a little over halfway done with that game. I have really strong vibes. I'm going to see it through and I'm going to beat it. Okay. There's this revelation, which isn't really a revelation in the story, but it's so freaking beautiful. It's about spirits. It's essentially like Omno meets Spiritfarer to some extent. That's like the way I could kind of describe it.
All right.
So I've been playing a good bit of that. Also been dabbling in some other games. I played a little bit of what is it? Played a little bit of Subnautica. You know, you guys remember Subnautica? Played that for maybe 3 hours, and I was like, okay, I get this. I'm done now. And then I uninstalled it. And another game that I've been playing besides those, because I've mostly been putting in work in the Kena Bridge of Spirits. So that, a little bit of Subnautica. There's another game, survival game that I played a little bit of, but not a lot. Stranded, it actually was, where you're like in a plane and you crash and you got to build a base on the islands and stuff like that. Played that for about 2 hours and I was like, all right, I get it. Enough of this, uninstall. Another game that will soon follow suit of that is a brand new release from Arcane, published by Xbox, and that game is Redfall. I've not played a ton of Redfall, but I've put over an hour or so into it so far. And it has been one of the more unbearable hours of gaming I've put into a game recently. I'll be making sure to post footage. I'll probably do impressions of it, put it on our YouTube. At one point, I'm telling you, I'm running with a gun, right? And I swear to God, it goes like slow, like bullet time, but there's no bullet time mode. There's no bullet time button.
Jeez.
The frames just crash. I can barely like actually aim and hit people because the frames are so inconsistent that I'm constantly either under adjusting or over adjusting my aim in order to shoot and kill someone, right? Just some other quick gripes real quick, because this is a disaster of a release. Enemy AI is really bad. This game, I mentioned before, it's developed by Arcane, which they did Deathloop and Dishonored and Prey, right? Like these are like fantastic high quality games. And I don't know really what happened here. Enemy AI is not like anything I experienced with like Deathloop or anything like that. Because remember, we all played Deathloop. It's a good game.
Yeah,
I'm sure. I mean, I know, David, I think you had it pretty high for like your games of the year or something that year, I think, or I don't know if it may be on there, but I know you had it rated pretty highly in regards to like your impressions.
It was fun. It was good.
Yeah. So I mean, like, this is the same people, and you may be thinking, well, maybe they had to cut it short. They ain't had the time. No, they had the time. They was working on it.
Was it the B team maybe?
Well, they got two studios, right? I think like a one in London and one in France, or they got two studios or something. I don't know. I don't know if it was the B team, but I mean,
if it was the B team, what did the B team do before? Because they probably did one of these other games,
and those other games were great. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
They haven't had a miss.
Fair.
Yeah. Okay. Very strange. So yeah, that's the other game that I've been playing, and I assure you, by the time we do our next level, when we're talking about what we've been playing, this won't be on there. It won't be on there. But I'll pivot from that into, I guess, a topic of discussion. We've had past discussions about Microsoft Xbox. All right. We've gotten hints of feedback that, hey, sometimes you guys come across as like Xbox haters. Okay. And look, guys, we don't wanna. Like I mentioned before, I brought my PlayStation 5 out of storage. I've been playing my Xbox. Your boy here, I'm not going to say I'm a pro X. Your boy here messes with Xbox. He's not a PlayStation 5 fanboy or nothing. But what needs to be brought to a fair discussion to the table is that Xbox seems to be a dumpster fire. Okay, Arcane came in there with all this pedigree, making good games, having no problems, and the first game they release under the Xbox umbrella is a dumpster fire, right? This game, we had talked a few levels before about Starfield being a referendum not only on Bethesda but also on Xbox, right? And the fear we had with other games like Fable being delayed, and there was another game that was announced as having a delay, right? The issues they had with Crackdown. And David, I mean, when I got done playing Redfall, I didn't worry about Starfield next, because I already think Starfield's going to suck. The game I got worried about next was Hellblade.
Oh crap!
Because I'm like, if they can infect Arcane,
were they acquired after Hellblade was made or before?
Well, yeah,
before number 2 was made.
Yeah, Ninja Theory was acquired before 2 is being like 2.
So it was after 1.
Yeah, it was after 1.
Oh God, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was after.
Yeah, they didn't make 1. They weren't part of Microsoft. That.
So I was gonna say, do you think Microsoft has something to do with why this is performing poorly?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, and that's kind of like the topic of discussion for me, is that like there's a real concern that Xbox, a video game company, doesn't know how to make video games. And not only to a point where they don't know how to make games, they don't even understand how to help produce and publish good games. Like, this isn't an Xbox game studio, like actual like Xbox game studio games. This is an Arcane developed game. Being like, they aren't even able to navigate the kind of the waters of helping support a developer who typically knows what the F they're doing. So what are you guys thinking now? Redfall is a disaster. Starfield is maybe 3 months? Was it November, right?
It's supposed to be November, yeah.
So I mean, it's like not so much 3 months, but less than a year away. This year,
right?
What's going to happen with Starfield? I mean, I'm assuming Hellblade's going to be coming out probably Q1, Q2 next year, or maybe possibly this year, right? The earliest. Yeah. Like, what is going to happen? What's going on?
Now, I like to start off, like you said, like you root for Xbox and you like Xbox. Like, I was the same way. Like, what's it called when like you support your own country over like everything else? Like, like Xeno something.
Well, nationalist essentially is what it's
Something,
like.
I can't remember the term, but like that was me growing up. Like I did not like PlayStation because I'm like, Xbox, that's us, you know, we're making Xbox, and it felt good. And the original Xbox I loved the original Xbox. Like I would die for that system, like way over PS2. Xbox 360, I mean, what's there to say about Xbox 360? It was the best console of the generation in my opinion. So like I don't hate Xbox, I really root for them, but they're doing something wrong. And I don't know what it is because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that a company would get them and have way more resources, more time, and do worse. But when you look at the history of Xbox, like now that I'm thinking about it, that's kind of what they do. Halo was owned by Bungie, and they made their best Halo games. And then Xbox got it. They're like, hey, we own the IP Halo, and Halo's now worse. Gears of War was owned by Epic. Is that right? Like I had that right? Gears of War was Epic for a little while.
I believe so. Yeah? I think so.
The first three, the best three. And now Microsoft owns like none of them. None of their franchises are better under Microsoft. Everything they touch does worse. And I don't know why. Like I can't put a finger on it. Like, because a lot of times when they acquire these studios, they keep a lot of the talent there. It doesn't go away.
Yeah, like a lot of like 343, which does like Halo. Like a lot of it's Bungie people that are there.
It makes no sense. I don't know what it is. Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, he's very passionate. He seems like he's saying all the right things, doing all the right things.
He's doing all the wrong things behind the scenes.
It seems like he's doing all the right things.
Him and his goons are.
It's happening behind the curtain.
It just doesn't make sense because these games I would never expected it. Like when I brought that topic up for PvP about Starfield, I kind of just assumed Redfield was going to be a pretty decent game. It was going to be like an 8 out of 10 game. That's what I assumed. I'm like, oh, you don't have to really ask about this one because it's Arcane and they've never missed. You know, like we had talked about Deathloop. It was like number 4 on my game of the year, and I loved it. You know, we all liked it. And same thing with Dishonored. There's some of the best adventure games, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, is it the kind of the live service thing that they're doing? Because this is a little bit live servicey, right? Like for sure. Like
it is. It feels like it's a little bit outside the realm of what Arcane usually does with some things, but it should still be within their scope. I mean, Arcane's all about like solid gunplay, traversal and navigation,
fun powers.
Exactly, right. And this like falls into that era, like that area of where they would seem like they do something good, or where they usually are like hit their stride. I don't know what's, I don't know what's going on, man. But Xbox has a problem. Even like I mean, obviously, like you have the whole Crackdown disaster, how that happened, right? And all these other issues that are going on. Like I don't understand exactly. I don't understand what it is and why they can't seem to get right the concept of supporting and putting out games. I mean, now if you talk about ratings and stuff, I've heard people say before, oh, well, the media has a PlayStation bias. They like PlayStation more than Xbox. Is that true?
PlayStation's better because PlayStation's better.
Well,
that's why.
But exactly, right? Xbox has not given the media a reason to not to trust them with their game releases. So PlayStation has given them reason to trust them more. Is there a bias? Yeah. Yes. But when the only good games you consistently put out from the Xbox are the Horizon games. Those are the only ones you consistently put out that are good top tier games, right? They're good to question everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like even a bad PlayStation game, like let's say like from all accords, Days Gone, still has some very redeeming things about it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, Xbox. What do you
And another thing is, PlayStation they have stinkers like Forspoken that just came out. I don't think anyone thought that was good at all, but PlayStation has such more of a quantity of these first party games that Forspoken stunk, but something will come along soon that will make us forget about Forspoken.
Exactly.
Redfall, we're going to be thinking about it for 4 months until Starfield comes out. Exactly. And if Starfield comes out and stinks, who knows when we'll be thinking about that one for, because when's the next one after Starfield? And Xbox has another problem. Like there's a ton of games released, and when they mention where they're going to, a lot of them don't come to Xbox. They just don't. If there's a choice, a lot of times they just don't come to Xbox. It's weird. It's a very weird circumstance. And, I know there's fanboys all over and some people live and die by Xbox, and the same thing with PlayStation. I try to be unbiased, and it's just...
we were what you call poly gamers.
Yeah, I try to be unbiased as poly. Okay. It's just, I don't know. I don't see the benefit of really owning an Xbox console. I really don't.
Well, so going further into that, right? One thing that I've been like I said, I've put an hour or so into Redfall. I'm playing it. A bunch of people playing it, partially because guess what? Your boy, he got Xbox Game Pass, right? But here's the thing: Xbox Game Pass, much like PS Now, has a bunch of what are they called, shovelware or whatever, or it's a bunch of nonsense. And then there's maybe about 10 to 12 titles where you're like, okay, this is actually kind of a little bit of value here. One of the things that Xbox has pitched is that our exclusive or our developed or published first party games, they're coming to Game Pass day one, right? Well, who gives a bleep when everything you're putting on there is trash, right?
Exactly.
Redfall is trash, right? Crackdown, trash. The only the games that are on there that are great are games that they weren't made when they were under you. Yeah, I can go in there and play all the Elder Scrolls games, right? They when it was just Bethesda. Xbox didn't have anything like that, right? The same with the Gears of War games that are on there. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I can, Tactics was maybe a good value, but besides that, a lot of them made under a different company before it became a Halo IP. So I kind of also want to briefly revisit this thing we've said before, where we've said, and a lot of people say that Xbox Game Pass is the best value in gaming. I am beginning to seriously question that declaration based upon what I'm getting so far.
David, you got a point? I know we have a kind
of... Well, I was going to say, I can't remember if this was a TV show or a movie, but I think this coincides with Microsoft very well. This person wanted to endorse this person's film or show or whatever, so they fed them the money, and they're like, "Oh, I want to see a script or whatever." So the person gave them the script, and what did they do with the script? They gave it back and said, "Here's all these changes I want to make." And I feel like that's kind of what Microsoft is doing. Like, they didn't ask for your advice; they asked for your help, maybe for the money, because maybe they don't have it. But if you're making all these changes, you're not the one that has been writing these scripts. You're not the one that has been making these previous ones. And that, I feel, is what is going on. They're like, I want these changes. And it just downplays what could have been a good game.
Right. To I guess the equivalent would be to an Academy nominated writer or something like that, right? Arcane makes good games. This is almost the equivalent of them acquiring From Software, then From Software putting out something trash. I'm like, what happened? Well, Xbox happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure.
Going back to your Game Pass question. So I got rid of Game Pass, which, like I said, I'm not trying to be an Xbox hater. I also got rid of the PS whatever it's called. I can't even remember what it's called.
Yeah.
The thing is, the Game Pass, I still think it's the best value in gaming, but that's just comparatively to everything else. Now, I think the way that they want you to use Game Pass, it's not a good value. They want you to get it year by year, and keep it nonstop and play as games come out. Here's the thing. For all three of us, this works. We are busy. We don't have time to play every single game that comes out on Game Pass, not even close to it. So what we do, we pick and choose the games we want to play. And Jeremy, as you pointed out, the highlights of those are the Microsoft-based ones. Hey, exclusives that Microsoft made out on day one. This is great value, but it's not, because they're not good.
Right.
So even though I do think Game Pass still is technically the best value in gaming, to me, it's the best value when Starfield comes out and I get Game Pass for a month. And I do it for $10 and I play Starfield and I don't renew. I beat Starfield and I move on. That's it. And that's how I'm going to treat Game Pass. When there's a game I want on Game Pass, I will get it for a month. I will play the game, because usually I don't play games longer than a month anyways. Play the game, don't let it renew. And I will do that sporadically as games come out that I want, because it's not worth it for me anymore to get it for a year and download games as they come out, because I just don't have time to pick and choose like that. And I own the four major things, the 3 consoles and a PC. So I can't just be a Game Pass guy. So
Right, that makes sense.
To me,
That's,
it's still technically the best, but yeah, it's not.
We can
not
get
for
better.
the way they want me to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost, I'm also someone that's a subscriber or has used the service Gamefly, and I feel like it's starting to it's rivaling in value, because at least with Gamefly you're usually not, you can play multiple games, over a course of like a session or something, like if you're like really interested in that. But if you're also like buying and owning your own games, and like you said, you have like, we all have the big four essentially, right? As far as consoles and access to games, the Game Pass value really does come into when those big first party releases happen.
Right.
And it's like, well, pay $15 for this. I can pay maybe, $1 more, get Gamefly, and I can play, Starfield however long I want. And then when I'm done, I can then spend the next month's money buying a first release on PlayStation or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's a lot better, actually. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I can go from, just as an example, I could go from Starfield from a month to Spider-Man 2 for a month or something like that, right? Compared to like I got Starfield for a month, and then the next month I also maybe have Starfield, and then what? Redfall, or like Gears, Gears 5 was supposedly pretty decent, but still like what am I doing here?
Right.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, but it definitely seems like Xbox is a sure bent dumpster fire, and I have a lot of concern for Hellblade 2 because it's made by a smaller studio than like something Bethesda made. Example, Arcane, right? I have concern for Hellblade, and heck, I have concern for even like the future Elder Scrolls and stuff that are coming out if it's under Xbox and what they're doing right now.
And
and
you're going to have concern for years to come. Like I think when we look at the other consoles, PlayStation, we don't go into a game with concern. We go in with excitement for the most part. We're like, yeah, this is exciting. With Nintendo games, oh man, next Zelda's coming out. Oh, next Mario's coming out. We go in with the excitement. All we're getting from Xbox is like, man, I hope this is playable. I hope it's good. I hope it's decent. And that's going to take years to get rid of that stigma. It's going to take years. It's going to take Game of the Years. It's going to take multiple releases in a row that are very good. And that's just, is it plausible for them to do that right now? I don't know.
I think that's very good. I go into a PlayStation or a Nintendo game. Well, actually, I don't go into a Nintendo game, but I go into a PlayStation game thinking, how good is this going to be? And I go into an Xbox game thinking, is this going to be any good? For sure. But yeah, guys, that's what I was thinking about. Hopefully, David, I'm hoping, man, Hellblade 2 comes out all right.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Now I'm very scared.
Yeah.
I mean, the game trailer that we have so far looked really good.
Mm-hmm. It's great.
But
it's
you can pick out 30 seconds from any of the games they've made and make it look like a good game.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, gentlemen. I had something I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit.
Okay.
What is it?
A little bit off base from you, Jeremy, but it was kind of weighing on me a little bit. AI is such a big thing, like such an explosion of AI recently.
It's ridiculous.
It's insane, and like there's much bigger like worries we could have. Like, is AI going to take my job? That's a big worry for a lot of different industries. But I want to know, what does AI mean for the future of gaming? Because we've already seen like AI can create beautiful art. They can, when prompted, write scripts, write dialogue, do all these different things. So I want to know what a future looks like with AI alongside gaming. Is that something you think will happen? Because companies obviously want to save money. So the less they have to pay artists and writers, the better, right?
Right.
True that.
It's worrisome because I just heard today that the main guy at Google that started working on AI or whatever 10, 15 years ago just stepped down all of a sudden and is like, this is not a good road we're going down. And that's kind of scary. And as for the video game stuff, I think I saw something about putting it in like The Sims, and then who knows what it's going to create. And if our video games start creating their own personal like lives, where we are essentially God, and there are little creations, and then they start creating their own creations, and like, where does it end?
Simulation within a simulation, huh?
That's a cool thing, right? It's a cool thing.
Well, I don't know.
No, it's not. That sounds
it,
like a living nightmare, actually. No.
Yeah, because Neil deGrasse Tyson, whatever his name,
Mm-hmm.
the scientist guy, he was like talking about we're not in a simulation because we can't replicate exactly what we have become, but it's also possible because we just haven't got there yet. And I think with this AI stuff, it's really going to speed up that process.
I mean, that sounds way more deeper than I'm trying to talk about.
Yeah, but it ties into all of stuff.
So okay, so
it does,
let's tie it back in.
But a
So
positive,
it's gonna
like
get
I saw a story.
crazy with video games. It's gonna get crazy.
Yeah, 100%. Positives. I saw a story where someone did something where NPC will never repeat a line. That's kind of cool, right? Like where if you have it where it's like always fresh, always new, nothing ever repeats.
Yep.
Or no, Jeremy, you have a look of like.
I mean, that's a small perk for the idea of losing autonomy of stuff. I will say that, yeah, it's incredibly concerning. So to go along with that part, recently, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but recently the Writers Guild of America went on strike.
Yes.
And one of their concerns is about AI. The utilization of AI to write scripts. So there's the issue that AI can cost people their livelihoods across various industries, and gaming being one of them, right? AI can create art from words. So there goes the jobs of concept artists, right? Or storyboard artists for different things like that. But the other issue is that AI, for one, is in a decent amount is confidently incorrect with information. So AI will tell you things wrong in a very confident manner, which makes me feel like AI is really good at TikTok, because that's all that is. And then but also AI is pulling from other sources. So what happens is, and if you've seen anyone talk about, do like those AI art things and different things like that, it gets incredibly derivative very quickly, because it doesn't have a lot of unique individualized instances of information to pull from. So if you get games being designed and games being developed by AI, you're going to get incredibly more derivative, samey type of games, because they're pulling from the same sources.
So Ubisoft.
So Ubisoft, but like everyone's Ubisoft, not just Ubisoft. Right. And I can think of, as a gamer, I can think of no worse nightmare than every game being a Ubisoft game. That's terrible.
Right.
There's nothing but, this derivative work over here, sexual harassment over here. So I don't want that at all. You know what I'm saying? But I understand it from a producer or executive or stockholder standpoint. I'm getting so much work done. I'm paying a fixed price. This is way cheaper than hiring a writer. It's way cheaper than hiring an artist, right? But you can't let that happen. You can't let that be the thing that holds you. Another thing that I'm concerned about too, with AI actually being a viable product that people use, not just for that. I just mentioned that, hey, it'll create derivative work. People seem to like derivative things. I'm not sure if you guys know this, Hello World, but the whole Marvel series, except for a few films, are all pretty derivative, and each of them make $1 billion each.
Yeah.
So how much unique, individualized, artistic kind of avenues or venues or kind of media are people actually consuming, or are people beginning to gradually more derivative things? And if that's the case, then that leaves fertile ground that is ripe for AI to take advantage of, and eventually ruin not just the gaming industry, but a bunch of other industries. But at the same time, it's really, really cool. I can't deny that AI is super cool.
That's the problem, is that is what kind of hooked us. Wouldn't this be so cool?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be really cool. But yeah, seems like all the negatives outweigh the positives,
Yeah,
overall down the line.
But here's the thing. We're still going to do it, right? Terminators existed for like 40 years. There were other movies talking about this beforehand. People don't care. We want technology. We want to be able to move things forward. We don't care, right? This guy at Google, he steps down and he's like, hey, we're going down a bad path. Hey, good job starting it, buddy. You don't get exempted just because you want to jump out now and put a parachute. I think we're not going to point to you, be like, hey, guy, you were there. You were there, buddy.
Right.
All right. Well, enough with artificial intelligence. Let's talk about our intelligence. I was thinking a good topic would be if we were put into a game and we were a tribe or a team or whatever, what would our character skills and like levels be? Like charisma and strength and weapons, and what do you guys think you would be? Where would you stand?
How many points are we allowed to invest? How many total points we got here?
Well, I don't see. I didn't think all of it. Like I don't know how many different characteristic things there is. I guess it's not really a set number, but like
okay,
list. I don't know. Somewhere. I just want to. I just felt being creative.
Let's do like maybe like our mid max for like, I don't know, 7-8 different skills or something like that. All right.
Like what game are we referring to here? Because there's a lot of games with like From Software games have like whole categories of different things. We're just doing general, like
we're just kind of doing general.
Yeah. Like your strength. Are you a smart person?
Yeah.
Or are you just a harder worker person? Or do you have a bow or a spear?
Right.
Or a wand?
Yeah, okay. So us three are in a party.
Yeah.
For people that only watch a podcast, never met me in real life, I'm 6'3". I am a 290, 300 pound. I'm a big guy. So I feel like I would fit the role of someone like a barbarian. But I'm also very thoughtful, so I feel like my intelligence might be higher than your average barbarian. And I'm quite dexterous. Dexterous? Is that a word?
Let's just say
I have quite high dexterity. I have dextrified. I have high dextrify for my size, I believe. So I think I would be a barbarian that wields a bow that has high intelligence. Not high intelligence, but higher than average intelligence for a barbarian.
High intelligence for a barbarian type of.
For a barbarian, yeah. And I would use a bow, which wouldn't make sense for a barbarian. But bows are honestly the coolest weapon in games. In my opinion.
Technically, usually it's like a spear or something. But maybe you're like a barbarian skirmisher type. Yeah, so I'm saying maybe you're like a barbarian skirmisher or something.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Let's see.
Go ahead. You want to go?
I was going to use the Elder Scrolls Oblivion ranks or attributes for my description of self. So let's see here. It's got strength, intelligence, willpower, agility, speed, endurance, personality, luck. Okay, so let me get into it. Min, mid, maxin. I'm going to tell you the ones I'm putting min first. Minimum, right? So right away, straight off rip, luck. Min luck. Your boy's got no luck. No luck.
Oh, God.
Right? That's a min, okay? That's the only one that I'll probably put at min. Actually, you know what? That's not going to be the only one I put at min. I'm going to say that your boy's also got some min in agility, not agile. Okay, so I'm minning in luck and I'm minning in agility. Where I'm midding at, I'm going to say that I'm going to be midding in endurance. Okay. I got some staying power, right? So I'm kind of like, fatigue, but I got will, I can keep going kind of. And that lends to willpower. I got some mid willpower. Okay. If I'm kind of like classing myself, I'd say I'm probably kind of like I'm kind of like almost like a battle mage, if that kind of makes sense, right?
I was gonna say mage for you.
Yeah. I think I'm kind of like a battle mage, and the reason the reason I say battle mage is because in moments I range very volatile in regards to like focus and not focus, patience and being impatient. And if I'm impatient, I'm not trying to conjure, I'm not trying to source no magic. I'm just gonna club you. So if I'm a battle mage, I got like a mace, or I've got like a club or a hammer. I do not have a sword. I do not have the elegance for a sword. Okay. So I'm saying that I'm probably midding my strength, midding my speed, and the only thing that I'll probably try to max, I'll say, is my intelligence. That's what I try to rely on the most.
If you didn't max that, you're crazy.
But that's battle maging with those kind of stats.
I think outside of combat as well, you would be very charismatic. Like charisma is a stat in a lot of RPGs.
Yeah, personality. So think,
yeah. When bartering or when trying to get us out of combat, you would probably lead the conversations in that regard. That would be very, a high priority for you.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's the coin toss of patient and impatient. If I have my patience, which is typically the time, I'll shoot the jive. We'll spit. I'll barter, whatever it is. But if I'm impatient, I don't feel like conjuring magic. I'm bringing hammers, right? And I'm donking people on heads.
All right.
Because I got to get out of there. All right. David, what are you going with? Who are you?
So I am not good at fighting, so I like to sit back and kind of like help out. So I feel like I would be like the healer of the group. So I think my weapon of choice, I don't know too many healers. The only healing game I've played is like Overwatch, and I like Moira the most. So if I can just have some sort of device that just shoots like healing powder on you guys when you need it, and I can also like suck the life out of the enemies when I need to.
Okay.
And I think my luck would be mid. I feel like sometimes things work out for me even when they shouldn't.
Okay.
And my strength is going to be min because it's not great. I can lift some sheets of metal, but that's really about it. My personality, I feel like be mid. Like I know I can be appealing to some people. And I'm very introverted, so I don't have that outgoing personality that people seem to be attracted to. So it's going to be a lot of give and take there. And what was other ones on that list?
Let's see. We got agility and willpower.
Agility's mid. Willpower is, I think that would be max, because when I'm really like set on something is what I go for.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha. And then we got intelligence.
That's mid. I'm sometimes smart, sometimes dumb. Easy.
And then what was the last one? Maybe speed and endurance.
Endurance, I would feel is mid, but my speed is min. I am not. Maybe he's the smallest guy of our group. I'm running just as fast. Yes.
Yeah.
That's why we got that's why we got a healer and a barbarian. We'll be all right.
Right.
Slow and steady wins. Slow and steady wins.
I feel like that really makes sense for you, David, because you post a lot on your TikTok like food recipes, right?
Oh God, yeah.
And I feel like the healer has to like come up with like quick recipes, to get us healed on the battlefield. And like while we're adventuring and we take a break, I feel like then Jeremy would take over and make the big meals, for the group. He seems the one that like does the barbecuing a lot. So I think I would be eating good.
You'd be set, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really providing much. I may use a bow, but I'm not a hunter. I can't hit a deer.
Corey would be the great like you're kind of in those, those scenes where you're like someplace and you're bartering with a guy. Let's say I'm bartering with a guy and he's being really slick and he's like, "Oi, I'm not just going to give this to you." And I'll be like, "You see my friend over there?" And Corey's just kind of like this big lug, just looking around, not very aware of what's happening, but he's looking and he sees like, oh, he's a big guy. And I'd be like,
right.
"You see my buddy over there? And we don't want any problems." He'd be like, "Oh, okay, well, okay, here's a jewel to the queen's chest or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we would get it. I feel like we'd make it work.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
But don't talk to me, because once you talk to me, the facade is over. Like I can't.
Like the guy walks up to
pretend
you
to be
and
tough.
the guy walks up to you and says, "So, what have you guys been up to lately?" And then you're like, and he goes, "Oi, what's up with this guy?"
All right, so I think we would be able to survive at least a little bit if we were dropping some random adventure.
For sure. Okay, yeah, that's a fun little party. Next RPG I play, I will try to replicate that.
There you go.
Let me know when I die.
Yeah,
and it's gonna happen.
No, you're the healer, man. However, since we're done with thinking about games and imagining games,
want to play a game?
It's time to play a game. It's game time.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did we discuss this before? What game are we playing?
Sure did not. But guess what?
I love it.
You got a 20 legally guessing for us, Jeremy?
I do not have a legally guessing.
Boop, boop, boop.
I have a what's the meta.
I somehow thought about
what's the meta. He loves it.
It's I think we've done I think we did 2 or 3 back-to-back legally guessings. You gotta give it a chance.
All right. So we're getting a little drunk on that game.
There you go. Hey, there you go. So speaking of, what's the meta, folks? If you don't remember, or if you don't know, if you're new, what's the meta? Essentially, we have 3 games. We go to the Metacritic to look up reviews for these games, and based upon the reviews, the fellas have to guess what game I'm talking about. Now, I went with 3 more recent releases. I know I said that the last time that I did that, and they were all releases that were like 6 to 8 months old. These are all within, I'll say, that year release, so they are fairly new games. Okay. All righty. So are we ready to get into it?
Yes.
Okay. So
good luck, David.
Thanks. I need it. You don't, so you don't get it.
This first game received a total 82 Metacritic score. Okay. But I'm now going to go into the reviews. Okay. Oh, that's way too long. All right. So first review is from Payman 24. Gave it a 1 out of 10.
Oh, ouch.
Quote, the game has nothing new. Maybe its only purpose is an ideology for the first character of the game. But the game itself is completely repetitive and boring. Repetitive and boring missions, boring stereotypes. It's interesting they gave the critique of repetitive because they said boring 3 successive times. But that's the first clue.
Boring missions, repetitive, brings nothing new.
Octopath Traveler 2.
That's incorrect.
Missions. I could not tell you. I'll pass my guess.
Okay. Let's see here. This next review is by RSB20. Gave it a 0 out of 10.
Dang.
Quote, hey, Sony PlayStation, this is enough. You must see a solution to the issue of the agenda. We are in a world of entertainment, not in a world full of deviant and misguided ideas. We are in a world of playing simply and rejoicing. We need a quick solution so that the PlayStation brand does not end.
The newest God of War?
Oh, that's a good guess.
Good guess, but incorrect.
Dang.
Horizon Forbidden West?
That is correct.
Nice.
All righty. Well, we're on to the next one. This person Well, this game totally, in total, has a 86 on Metacritic.
Getting better.
This first review is from user Anti-Radiant. Gave it a 4. Quote, I will be so happy to play the rest of this game when it's actually possible to do so. As of this writing, that is not possible on my PS5. The screen tearing, texture popping, flickering, visual auras, and other graphics glitches give me too much eye strain to play for longer than a few minutes at a time. To go on, I sincerely hope. Oh, actually, you know what? I won't read that part. That gives away a bit too much. I'm not going to read that part. Just what I read right there.
All right. David, you have a guess?
No, because I'm kind of confused about the play it when available part. Is it because it's not out yet, or is it because you just can't get through it because of how bad the graphics are for him?
Yeah, I'm thinking it might be a live service game. But my first guess, just to rule it out, I know it's been over a year, but Cyberpunk 2077. When you think of bad launches and gameplay.
That's a good guess.
That is incorrect.
Okay. All right.
Good guess. Good guess.
Thank you.
David, did you have a guess for that?
No.
Okay. This next reviewer, Red Neb, gave it 0 out of 10.
Oh.
Quote, do not buy this hot pile of garbage. PS5 version is stuttering way too often. The fights get really frustrating with the massive FPS drops. I really liked the first game and bought this one on the day it launched. One of the mistakes I will never do again. Super frustrating and disappointing. And don't get me started on the boss design. Holy bleep. Like, to die a lot, this is for you.
Oh. Well, no, the total Metacritic is 86. Did it drop that far? Elden Ring?
It's incorrect.
That's too low of a Metacritic for Elden Ring.
I don't know when the PS5 version came out, so I'm gonna say Last of Us Part 2.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
Alrighty. This is review got this one and then 2 more. This is from user Pelota18. Gave it a 1 out of 10. Quote, it is a disappointing game. Following the CD Projekt Red legacy, release an unfinished game as long as it makes money. It's the worst game, performance-wise, after Cyberpunk. It had everything to be a good game, but it wasn't. Let's see here. They go on to say, if you thought they would make a bigger, better game, it is not the case. They didn't make it bigger, or in any matter that counts. Maybe it's part of the lore. This is a reveal. The Cal is still the weakest blank ever. Skill tree is kind of big, but you don't need it.
Come on, Jeremy. This is can't give out the main character's name.
I mean, do you guys know? Do you guys even know the?
I know it. David, you want the first guess, man?
No, I got nothing, man.
This is shoot. Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Nice.
That was a tough one. Wow.
Yeah.
So that's
I thought people mostly liked it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just came out. Man, that's a super recent. That's
which one is it?
Days old. Jedi Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, that's the first one.
Okay.
All right.
Very recent.
Very recent. Let's see here. Alrighty. This next game has a total 74 on a Metacritic.
Dropping low.
Yeah. This user, Daniel 09 or 0809, gave it an 8 out of 10. Quote, I've been playing all weekend and love walking around in LA. Like I'm really there, and the graphics are stunning. The combat is very satisfying, and playing as Blake is fun too. Sounds are also very nice to the ear. Intro song is dope, but not much of a meaningful story. I didn't connect to any of the players, but the voice acting was great. Addictive game, and I'm happy with it.
David, you can have first guess. I think I have this one as well.
Oh, that's Jesus. You're too good at this.
I mean, I probably don't, but
well, it's in LA. Plays different characters. I don't even know what's in. The only thing I would think of is Grand Theft Auto, but that's not in there. I got nothing, man. What do you think it is?
I think it's Dead Island 2.
That is correct.
Well.
It's not on an island.
I have no life. I know every game that comes out. I know every detail. The LA thing gave it away.
Right. Yeah, that's what but that's a great question, David.
Why it makes sense, David? Sorry.
Why is it not on an island?
Is it not on the island? It has to be on an island in LA, right? Or near Los Angeles?
I don't think so. I think it's just in LA.
It's just
no
Los
islands
Angeles.
next to California at all.
There's
unless you count Hawaii.
No, there's which one should you call it? If you guys remember the movie Step Brothers? Catalina, right? That's an island, right?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I think it is. But that's that's actually a really good Catalina, Santa Catalina Island in Los Angeles County, California.
Okay.
I think it's just a situation. The first one took place on an island. They didn't want to change the name for name recognition.
Right. Yeah, I mean, hopefully it does take place on Catalina Island. That'd be pretty cool to stick with the island theme.
Right. Zombies and wine mixers. Let's go.
There you go. Wow. Very interesting. Corey with a nice performance there.
Thank you. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
When you're good, you're good.
Alrighty. So let's see here. That brings us to the end here, which means, of course, that we have our final thoughts. Where each of us make a final thoughts about something that can be related or unrelated to the podcast episode. So, who would like to give their final thought first?
Yeah, sure. I'll go. I'm going on vacation next week, so I will not be recording the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I will be driving back from vacation when the episode airs. So please record a great episode for me. All right. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking.
Okay.
It'll be the greatest level we've ever put out.
I hope so.
And the funniest thing is that if there was no episode that came out, that would be hilarious.
Where is it?
Right.
Baby crying, wife crying. It's coming.
I need my levels.
Right. Let's see here. Final thought. I can go next.
Okay.
I had just found out, I'm not sure if it was already well known, but I had just found out that From Software is working on Armored Core 6. And I'm pretty jazzed for it.
Yeah, I think
pretty jazzed. Yeah.
Think it was pretty well known. It's coming out in 2 months, man.
Yeah. Well,
is that the one with the special edition that's $400?
Yeah, I just saw that. It did not look like it was
okay.
worth
So I did hear about it.
It never is worth that type of extra money. I'm not digging that, of course, but your boy grew up on Armored Core, so I'm interested to see what they're going to do with all these different other Souls games they've done and different stuff like that. How they're going to handle the Armored Core IP.
So for a person who has never played Armored Core, but I really do enjoy every Souls game, what should I expect? If they're keeping with more Armored Core than, going to Souls format. And I would assume they are. I read before that they are going to keep it Armored Core. It's not going to be Souls infused. So what should I expect if I'm looking forward to this game?
I think nice fast-paced action, like nice fast-paced mech action, right?
Okay.
That's what I would say you should probably look look forward to. I remember at one point on the original PlayStation, I was playing 2 games and I got them confused in my mind forever between Armored Core and Zone of Enders. I don't know if you guys remember Zone of Enders.
It's an RPG, right? Or no, it's not.
I don't know. I don't know if it's an RPG. Let's see really, really quick. Okay. But I remember playing Zone of Enders a bunch. And it's combat. It's mech combat in space. You'd pick up different abilities and all that different stuff like that. Kind of like a hack and slash, right?
Okay.
I remember playing the crap out of that game and not understanding anything I was playing as being young. Like I didn't understand anything that I was looking at, but I remember playing it and loving it. So I kind of got those confused, but after I got them unconfused, I realized that I liked Armored Core more. It's a bit more realistic.
Better. Okay.
On the ground leveled. So yeah, Armored Core definitely where it's at.
One more question referring to Armored Core. Have you ever played Custom Robo?
No.
Okay, that's a GameCube game. I was just wondering if it was in the realm, because Custom Robo is one of those that I look back at extremely fondly, and that was a mech game that I really enjoyed.
What you said it was for
GameCube? For
GameCube. Okay, yeah, I think probably not.
One also came out on the DS, I think, but I'd only played the GameCube one. Awesome game. So yeah, looking forward to Armored Core. Hope it gets good, positive, reviews, and I can buy it.
Yeah, that's going to be a GameFly one, I think.
Okay.
That's going to be a one I'm trying to GameFly. See if it's on the up and up, and then maybe a purchase.
Yeah, I hope it's good. If people are spending $400 on the collector's edition,
I think you're a loser if you do that. No offense. Sorry.
If I was into it, I'd probably be one of those losers. I'll tell you.
Yeah, there you go.
But my final thought is, Motor City Comic Con is coming up at the end of the month here, and I'm excited to go.
Yeah, are you going?
It's always a nice time.
Are you going as someone or something?
Probably not. I'm hoping to have my son, and we'll probably meet a famous person or something. Like last year, I had my picture taken with Matthew Lillard.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
We'll see how that goes. Yeah, loved it.
Yeah.
He's a very nice guy.
Yeah, he seems like it.
Yeah. Like the very first thing he did when it was his turn to take pictures of everybody, he went through the crowd and grabbed every person that was on crutches or in a wheelchair or had a lot of kids. They just got him out of the way really quick. He's like, "You guys with me? Let's go."
That's why I always bring fake crutches.
Yeah, totally.
You gotta
get you front of the line. It's a life hack, bro.
Crutches.
Be rude.
You can say crutches is in the Comic-Con kit, no matter where you go.
An eye patch. You know, that works just as well. David, are you going to be wearing your Thoughts and Players t-shirt there?
I am now, because that's a good idea.
There we go. There we go.
All righty. Well, that is our final thoughts, which means that's it for level 62 of the Thoughts and Players podcast. If you liked what you heard, please find and follow us and listen to us on your preferred podcast service. We are on all of them. Well, maybe not all. We're on most of them. Okay. You can also follow us on the socials, like Facebook. We're on facebook.com/Thoughts and Players, like it's all one word. We are on Instagram at Thoughts.Players. TikTok, Thoughts Players. We are on the YouTube at Thoughts Players, where we upload the video version of this podcast. And we're also on Twitter. We're still there. Most people are kind of leaving in droves, but we're there at Thoughts Player 2. And of course, we have a Patreon. If you want to support the show a little bit extra, go ahead and pop over to the Patreon. We've got a $2, $5, $7 tier. They all have different perks and goodies that come along with them. You can check that out there. But of course, if you're not in a position to do that, just like a share, a comment, and a watch, or a view, or a listen, we appreciate all the support. So that is it for me. Fellas, is there anything else you would like to say?
Peace.
Goodbye.
All right. We'll catch you on the next level.